I sat down, which is the correct order of operations on a day. This hot iced Americano, black, no sugar, no room, just ice, an espresso, and the particular kind of cold that only exists in a paper cup with a lid and a straw on a summer afternoon when nothing else will do. Black and cold is not just a coffee order, it's a whole philosophy about summer and what summer requires, which is something very cold, very dark, very exact. This black and cold, the only thing I want today. Black and cold in both hands, even though one hand is enough. Black and cold, the summer in a cup version of everything I needed this afternoon to be black and cold and perfect, which it is, which it always is when it's this hot. And the cup is this cold and the day is this particular kind of summer. Felt the cold through the cup before the first sip, which is its own small joy. The anticipation of something cold when you are very warm is almost as good as the cold itself. Almost the first sip is better, but the anticipation is very close second. Black and cold is not just a coffee order, it's a whole philosophy about summer and what summer requires, which is something very cold, very dark, very excited. Black and cold, the only thing I want today. Black and cold in both hands, even though one hand is enough. Black and cold, the summer in a cup version of everything I needed this afternoon to be black and cold and perfect, which it is, which it always is when it's this hot. And the cup is this cold and the day is this particular kind of summer. Sat down with it in the best seat I could find, which was the shadiest one, which is always the best one in summer. Black and cold and a shady seat in nowhere. I needed to be for at least the length of this cup, which I was gonna make last as long as possible, which is never as long as I planned. There are days when nothing but iced Americano will do, when the heat requires something specifically black and specifically cold and specifically in a cup with ice that rattles when you pick it up, which is the best sound summer has after the air conditioning turning on. Black and cold, the only thing I want today. Black and cold in both hands, even though one hand is enough. Black and cold, the summer in a cup version of everything I needed this afternoon to be black and cold and perfect, which it is, which it always is when it's this hot. And the cup is this cold and the day is this particular kind of summer. This particular kind of summer. Cold through the cup. Black and cold, perfect, which it always is. Waited for it to be exactly right, the straw position, the cup tilted slightly, the way that makes the first sip go directly to the back of the throat. Cold, immediate, perfect. The first sip of an iced Americano on a hot day is not a casual thing. It requires preparation, intention, the correct angle of approach. The first sip of the day cannot be rushed. The first sip deserves the full attention of the person taking it, which today is me, and I am fully here for this. First sip of the day, cold all the way down. First sip of the day, and something in the body that had been waiting since this morning finally gets what it came for. First sip of the day, and the heat outside becomes temporarily negotiable. First sip of the day, the best. First sip of any day is always the iced Americano. First sip, no competition, no debate, just cold and black and exactly right. Close my eyes for the first one, wish I always do when something deserves that kind of attention. The cold, the bitter, the perfect combination of ice and espresso, and nothing else that somehow adds up to everything I needed at this exact moment of this exact summer day. The first sip of the day cannot be rushed. The first sip deserves the full attention of the person taking it, which today is me, and I am fully here for this. First sip of the day, cold all the way down. First sip of the day, and something in the body that had been waiting since this morning finally gets what it came for. First sip of the day, and the heat outside becomes temporarily negotiable. First sip of the day, the best. First sip of any day is always the iced Americano. First sip, no competition, no debate, just cold and black and exactly right. Sat with it for a second after, the way you sit with something that delivered exactly what it promised, which is rare and worth acknowledging. First sip of the day, delivered completely, as it always does, as it always will, as long as summer keeps being this hot and iced Americano keeps being this cold. First sip of anything good is its own small ceremony, but the first sip of iced Americano on a summer day is more than a ceremony. It's a confirmation that today is going to be okay, that the heat is manageable, that the afternoon has something cold going for it, which is all an afternoon need sometime. First sip of the day, cold all the way down. First sip of the day, and something in the body that had been waiting since this morning finally gets what it came for. First sip of the day, and the heat outside becomes temporarily negotiable. First sip of the day, best. First sip of any day is always the iced Americano. First sip, no competition, no debate, just cold and black and exactly right. Exactly right. Cold all the way down. First sip of the day, today's gonna be okay. Put the cup down for a second just to look at something on my phone. Picked it back up, and there it was, a perfect circle of water on the table where the cup had been. The condensation ring, proof that something very cold had been sitting in something very warm and left its mark the way cold things always do in summer. The condensation ring is not a mess, it's evidence of a cup doing its job in difficult summer conditions, which it did admirably, leaving only this small wet circle behind. The condensation ring on the table, perfectly round. The condensation ring that the cup left behind while I wasn't looking. The condensation ring, the summer's most honest still life, just a circle of water on a wooden table on a hot afternoon, proof that something cold was here and made its mark. The condensation ring, I keep putting the cup back in exactly the same spot, which is either very precise or very lazy, probably both. Try to put it back exactly in the ring, which is a very specific and entirely unnecessary satisfaction that I pursue every time there's a condensation ring and a cup to put back in it. Got it perfectly this time, felt unreasonably pleased about this, which says something about how the afternoon was going, which was very well, thank you. The condensation ring is not a mess, it's evidence of a cup doing its job in difficult summer conditions, which it did admirably, leaving only this small wet circle behind. The condensation ring on the table, perfectly round. The condensation ring that the cup left behind while I wasn't looking. The condensation ring, the summer's most honest still life, just a circle of water on a wooden table on a hot afternoon, proof that something cold was here and made its mark. The condensation ring, I keep putting the cup back in exactly the same spot, which is either very precise or very lazy, probably both. By the time the cup was empty, there were 3 rings overlapping slightly, a small abstract painting made entirely by condensation and careless placement of an iced Americano on a hot afternoon, which is the most accidental art I've ever been responsible for. The condensation ring is summer, leaving its mark on everything it touches. The cup, the table, my shirt, where I wipe my hand after picking up the cup, which was wetter than expected. Every time summer gets on things in small ways all day long, the condensation ring is just one of them, my favorite one. The condensation ring on the table, perfectly round. The condensation ring that the cup left behind while I wasn't looking. The condensation ring, the summer's most honest still life, just a circle of water on a wooden table on a hot afternoon, proof that something cold was here and made its mark. The condensation ring, I keep putting the cup back in exactly the same spot, which is either very precise or very lazy, probably both. Probably both. Accidental art. The condensation ring. Something cold was here. It was fine as it was, black and cold, and already perfectly itself. But the straw was there, and the afternoon was long, and stirring slowly is its own particular pleasure on a hot day when nothing needs to happen quickly, including the stirring of something that didn't need stirring, but got it anyway. Stirring slowly is not about the coffee. Stirring slowly is about having nowhere to rush to, and a straw and an afternoon that fits exactly in a paper cup. Stirring slowly, the ice going around. Stirring slowly, the black getting blacker for a second, then settling. Stirring slowly, 'cause the afternoon is long and the cup is cold, and there's something almost meditative about the slow circular motion of a straw in an iced Americano on a summer day when nothing is urgent. Stirring slowly is the pace this day deserves. Watch the ice rotate, which sounds like something a person does when they have truly nothing to do, which I didn't, which I was completely fine with ice going around in slow circles. In the dark, coffee was genuinely more interesting than it sounds on a hot afternoon with nowhere to be. Stirring slowly is not about the coffee. Stirring slowly is about having nowhere to rush to, and a straw and an afternoon that fits exactly in a paper cup. Stirring slowly, the ice going around. Stirring slowly, the black getting blacker for a second, then settling. Stirring slowly, 'cause the afternoon is long and the cup is cold, and there's something almost meditative about the slow circular motion of a straw in an iced Americano on a summer day when nothing is urgent. Stirring slowly is the pace this day deserves. Stopped eventually, took a sip, which was improved by the stirring. Or maybe not, it's impossible to know, but the stirring had been worth doing regardless of what it did to the coffee. 'Cause the stirring wasn't really about the coffee, was about the afternoon, and the afternoon was going very well. There's a kind of doing nothing that looks like doing something. Stirring slowly is that the hand moves, the straw moves, the ice moves, and none of it goes anywhere in particular, which is exactly where I was going this afternoon. Nowhere in particular. Slowly with a cold cup in my hand. Stirring slowly is not about the coffee. Stirring slowly is about having nowhere to rush to, and a straw and an afternoon that fits exactly in a paper cup. Stirring slowly, the ice going around. Stirring slowly, the black getting blacker for a second, then settling. Stirring slowly, 'cause the afternoon is long and the cup is cold, and there's something almost meditative about the slow circular motion of a straw in an iced Americano on a summer day when nothing is urgent. Stirring slowly is the pace this day deserves. The pace this day deserves. Nowhere in particular. Stirring slowly. The afternoon going well. Scan the room the way you do when finding a seat is the most important decision of the afternoon, which today it was. Sunny side too bright, middle too exposed, by the door too warm, and then the corner by the window with the tree outside casting its shadow exactly where I needed it to be. Shady seat found a complete. The shady seat is not just a seat in the shade, it's the seat that makes the whole afternoon possible in the particular way you wanted the afternoon to be possible. Shady seat, the best seat in the whole place. Shady seat that someone else almost took. I saw them consider it and I walk faster, which I'm not ashamed of. Shady seat where the light is soft and the air is slightly cooler than the rest of the room. Shady seat and the iced-Americano and nowhere to be. The perfect three. Settled in the way you settle when you know you've won something. The bag on the chair beside me, the cup on the table, the phone face down. The afternoon officially mine in the best, shadiest, coldest cup holding version of mine available today. The shady seat is not just a seat in the shade, it's the seat that makes the whole afternoon possible in the particular way you wanted the afternoon to be possible. Shady seat, the best seat in the whole place. Shady seat that someone else almost took. I saw them consider it and I walk faster, which I'm not ashamed of. Shady seat where the light is soft and the air is slightly cooler than the rest of the room. Shady seat and the iced-Americano and nowhere to be. The perfect three. The sun moved slightly during the afternoon. The shadow shifted with it. The shady seat remained shady. The tree outside, very committed to its job of keeping this corner exactly the right temperature for an iced Americano and a person with nowhere to be. I appreciated the tree more than usual today. The shady seat in summer is worth arriving early for, worth walking faster for, worth the slightly awkward moment of sliding into before someone else does, because the shady seat changes what the afternoon is from hot and bright and too much to cool and soft and exactly enough, which is all I ask of any afternoon. picked it up, and there it was, that sound, the ice against the cup, the particular high clear rattling. That means still cold, still good, still exactly what I ordered on a day. This hot ice rattling is the most reassuring sound summer has to offer, apart from air conditioning turning on. But ice rattling is more portable. Ice rattling doesn't need to mean anything, it just needs to happen every time I pick up the cup, which I do more often than necessary, specifically to hear it. Ice rattling in the cup every time I move it. Ice rattling, the sound that summer makes when you've done the right thing. Ice rattling, I pick it up, put it down, pick it up just for the sound, which my table mate might find slightly odd. But I don't have a table made today, so the ice can rattle as much as it wants. Ice rattling, the best percussion in any cafe on any hot afternoon. Tip the cup slightly just to make the ice move around in there, which made a very satisfying cascade of rattling that lasted approximately 2 seconds and was absolutely worth it. Did it again immediately, same result, same satisfaction. Could have done this all afternoon, actually probably will. Ice rattling doesn't need to mean anything, it just needs to happen every time I pick up the cup, which I do more often than necessary, specifically to hear it. Ice rattling in the cup every time I move it. Ice rattling, the sound that summer makes when you've done the right thing. Ice rattling, I pick it up, put it down, pick it up just for the sound, which my table mate might find slightly odd. But I don't have a table made today, so the ice can rattle as much as it wants. Ice rattling, the best percussion in any cafe on any hot afternoon. The ice was getting smaller, I could tell by the rattle changing, slightly less weight, less resistance, less of that perfect high clear sound, and more of a quieter, slightly sadder rattle, which meant the afternoon was moving toward its inevitable conclusion, which was a cup with no ice, which I was not ready for but would accept when it came. If I could bottle the sound of ice rattling in an iced Americano on a hot afternoon and play it whenever summer got too serious about being hot, I would. Ice rattling is the sound of having made a good decision about what to drink on a day like this one. Confirmation in audio form. Ice rattling in the cup every time I move it. Ice rattling, the sound that summer makes when you've done the right thing. Ice rattling, I pick it up, put it down, pick it up just for the sound, which my table mate might find slightly odd. But I don't have a table made today, so the ice can rattle as much as it wants. Ice rattling, the best percussion in any cafe on any hot afternoon. Best percussion. Good decision confirmed. Ice rattle as much as it wants today. People ask why I don't add sugar, and the answer is that the bitterness is the point. not something to be corrected or softened or apologized for. The bitter is what makes the cold work the way it works. The bitter and the cold together are the whole thing. Adding sugar would be like adding something to a perfect sentence that doesn't need anything. Bitter is not the opposite of good. Bitter is a flavor that knows what it is and doesn't apologize, which is something I find very admirable in a coffee. Bitter and perfect, not despite the bitter, but because of it. Bitter and perfect, the way some things are exactly right without being easy or sweet or obvious. Bitter and perfect, my iced Americano, doing what it always does, which is taste exactly like what it is, which is black coffee cold with ice and nothing else and nothing else needed. Bitter and perfect. The first sip is always the most bitter and therefore the most honest. The ice hasn't had time to dilute anything yet, just the espresso and the cold at full strength, which is the way I want it. At full strength, bitter and perfect, and completely itself before the ice starts to melt and makes it something slightly softer, which is also fine, but this right now is better. Bitter is not the opposite of good. Bitter is a flavor that knows what it is and doesn't apologize, which is something I find very admirable in a coffee. Bitter and perfect, not despite the bitter, but because of it. Bitter and perfect, the way some things are exactly right without being easy or sweet or obvious. Bitter and perfect, my iced Americano, doing what it always does, which is taste exactly like what it is, which is black coffee cold with ice and nothing else and nothing else needed. Bitter and perfect. Someone at the next table was adding syrup to something already sweet. I watched without judgment. Everyone makes their own coffee choices, and theirs was theirs and mine was mine, and mine was bitter and cold and exactly what I'd chosen. And I was very happy about that. No judgment, just quiet appreciation for my own very correct decision. There is a kind of perfect that doesn't come from sweetness or from adding things to make it easier. It comes from something being exactly what it is without adjustment, without apology. Bitter and perfect is that kind of perfect, the kind that doesn't need your approval to know it's right, which is the best kind of right. Bitter and perfect, not despite the bitter, but because of it. Bitter and perfect, the way some things are exactly right without being easy or sweet or obvious. Bitter and perfect, my iced Americano, doing what it always does, which is taste exactly like what it is, which is black coffee cold with ice and nothing else and nothing else needed. Bitter and perfect. Nothing else needed. Very correct decision. Bitter and perfect. Exactly what it is. Noticed it without meaning to. The cup lighter than before, the ice lower than it was. Halfway through it arrived faster than expected, as things you're enjoying always do. Halfway through, and I'm already thinking about whether I want another one after this, which I do. I always do, but the thinking about it at halfway is part of the ritual. Halfway through is the best place to be in anything good. Far enough in to know it's good, close enough to the end to feel the small pleasant urgency of enjoying what's left. Halfway through and savoring what remains. Halfway through, the ice still rattling, the coffee still cold. Halfway through and the afternoon still long, still mine. Still exactly the right temperature from the outside in. Halfway through and already glad I ordered this one, and already thinking about the next one, which is the mark of something worth having twice. The condensation rings had multiplied on the table, a small map of everywhere the cup had been this afternoon. Halfway through the cup, halfway through the afternoon, halfway through the kind of day that's good enough to notice you're in it, which I was noticing very much. Halfway through is the best place to be in anything good. Far enough in to know it's good, close enough to the end to feel the small pleasant urgency of enjoying what's left. Halfway through and savoring what remains. Halfway through, the ice still rattling, the coffee still cold. Halfway through and the afternoon still long, still mine. Still exactly the right temperature from the outside in. Halfway through and already glad I ordered this one, and already thinking about the next one, which is the mark of something worth having twice. Slow down deliberately the way you do when you realize you're halfway through something good, and want the rest of it to last a little longer than it naturally would if you just kept going at the pace you've been going. Halfway through and consciously savoring, which is a skill I'm still developing with moderate success. Halfway through, anything worth finishing is a good place to stop and notice that you're in it, that you're here, that the cup is still cold and the afternoon is still good, and halfway through is not almost done. It's exactly enough left to be happy about, which I am halfway through and happy about it. Halfway through and savoring what remains. Halfway through, the ice still rattling, the coffee still cold. Halfway through and the afternoon still long, still mine. Still exactly the right temperature from the outside in. Halfway through and already glad I ordered this one, and already thinking about the next one, which is the mark of something worth having twice. Worth having twice. Still cold, still mine. Halfway through. Happy about it. Ordered it before the first one was fully gone, which some people might consider premature. Those people have never sat in a shady seat on a hot afternoon with an iced Americano that was clearly gonna be insufficient on its own. The second one was not a decision, It was an inevitability, I just made it official, slightly ahead of schedule. The second one is not an indulgence. The second one is just the first one. Having a friend, which everyone deserves on a long summer afternoon in a good shady seat. The second one arriving just as the first one was accepting its fate. The second one fresh ice, full cup, that particular cold, through the paper again for the first time today. For the second time, the second one, no explanation, no apology, no justification needed beyond it's hot and I'm here and this is very good. The second one, obviously, the second one. The barista didn't even raise an eyebrow, which I appreciate. A good barista understands the second one. A good barista has seen the afternoon get long and hot, and has watched people make exactly this decision at exactly this point in exactly this kind of day, and has never judged any of them for it, which is one of the many reasons this is my regular place. The second one is not an indulgence. The second one is just the first one. Having a friend, which everyone deserves on a long summer afternoon in a good shady seat. The second one arriving just as the first one was accepting its fate. The second one fresh ice, full cup, that particular cold, through the paper again for the first time today. For the second time, the second one, no explanation, no apology, no justification needed beyond it's hot and I'm here and this is very good. The second one, obviously, the second one. First sip of the second one is its own specific experience, different from the first sip of the first one, which was the day's first cold. This one is the day's second cold, which is warmer in its context, but just as welcome, just as right, just as bitter and perfect as the first. Nobody needs to justify the second one. The second one justifies itself by being cold and here and available on a day that has clearly earned it. The second one is summer being generous and you being sensible enough to accept the generosity, which I am every time, obviously. The second one arriving just as the first one was accepting its fate. The second one fresh ice, full cup, that particular cold, through the paper again for the first time today. For the second time, the second one, no explanation, no apology, no justification needed beyond it's hot and I'm here and this is very good. The second one, obviously, the second one. Obviously, fresh ice, full cup. The second one. Summer being generous. Didn't notice it happening, just noticed that it had happened somewhere between the first one and the second one. The afternoon had gotten slightly more interesting than it was before. Not because anything changed, but because something in me changed. Specifically the caffeine, arriving at wherever caffeine goes and doing what caffeine does, which is make everything approximately 15% better. Caffeine kicking in is not a dramatic event. It's more like the lights in a room getting slightly brighter without anyone touching the switch. Caffeine kicking in the afternoon has opinions now. Caffeine kicking in, and I have thoughts about things I hadn't been thinking about before, which are probably not important but feel very important. Currently, caffeine kicking in, and my foot is doing something under the table that it wasn't doing before. Caffeine kicking in, the second best thing about iced Americano. After the iced Americano itself, made a list in my head of things I was gonna do when I got home, which the caffeine was very enthusiastic about. Every item on the list seemed very doable, very reasonable, very achievable by a person with this much caffeine in them. I checked back on that list later when the caffeine had settled into something more realistic, but right now everything seemed possible. Caffeine kicking in is not a dramatic event. It's more like the lights in a room getting slightly brighter without anyone touching the switch. Caffeine kicking in the afternoon has opinions now. Caffeine kicking in, and I have thoughts about things I hadn't been thinking about before, which are probably not important but feel very important. Currently, caffeine kicking in, and my foot is doing something under the table that it wasn't doing before. Caffeine kicking in, the second best thing about iced Americano. After the iced Americano itself, the second one was probably responsible for this. Specifically, 2 iced Americanos on a summer afternoon in a shady seat with nowhere to be was the exact correct amount of caffeine for the thoughts I was currently having, which were numerous and enthusiastic, and probably not all going to survive contact with the evening, but were very welcome right now. Caffeine kicking in is summer at its most productive. The heat makes you slow, the iced Americano makes you slightly faster. The net result is approximately normal, but with better posture and more opinions about things you'll forget by tomorrow, which is fine, which is the whole point of caffeine on a summer afternoon with nowhere to be. Caffeine kicking in the afternoon has opinions now. Caffeine kicking in, and I have thoughts about things I hadn't been thinking about before, which are probably not important but feel very important. Currently, caffeine kicking in, and my foot is doing something under the table that it wasn't doing before. Caffeine kicking in, the second best thing about iced Americano. After the iced Americano itself, second best thing, everything seemed possible. drinking 15% better, approximately. The ice was mostly gone, just small pieces floating in what was left of the second one, which was not much, but enough to still be cold, which is the important thing. Cold to the last drop is not a guarantee. With iced Americano, it's an achievement earned by drinking at the right pace on the right day, in the right shady seed, which I had done correctly today. Cold to the last drop means the ice and the drinking reached the end at approximately the same time, which requires no planning but feels like a victory every time it happens. Cold to the last drop, the ice doing its job until the very end. Cold to the last drop, and the last drop, knowing it, tasting it, that particular slightly diluted by now, but still cold, still black, still exactly mine. Cold to the last drop, which doesn't happen every time, but happened today, which is one of the small perfect things about today. Cold to the last drop. The straw made that sound, the end of drink sound, the one that means there's nothing left except air and the very last drops. At the bottom of the cup, I tilted it to get them obviously. Cold to the last drop means all of them, not most of them, all of them, including the ones that require tilting. Cold to the last drop means the ice and drinking reach the end at approximately the same time, which requires no planning but feels like a victory every time it happens. Cold to the last drop, the ice doing its job until the very end. Cold to the last drop, and the last drop, knowing it, tasting it, that particular slightly diluted by now, but still cold, still black, still exactly mine. Cold to the last drop, which doesn't happen every time, but happened today, which is one of the small perfect things about today. Cold to the last drop. Set the cup down empty, but still cold on the outside, where the condensation had been all afternoon doing its thing. Even that, the last touch of cold from an empty cup is something worth noticing, which I did. Cold to the last drop, and then cold to the last touch, which is more than I asked for, and exactly what today gave me. Cold to the last drop is summer, keeping its promise all the way to the end, which not everything does, but iced Americano does. Every time when you've chosen the right amount of ice and the right seed and the right afternoon, and drunk it at the right pace. Cold to the last drop is the reward for all of that, which is not very much to ask of an afternoon. finish is one of the small perfect things about today. Call to the last drop. Small perfect thing. Call to the last touch. Call to the last drop. Everything when it happens. The cup was empty, had been for a while, but I hadn't moved it, hadn't given it to anyone, hadn't signaled that I was done. Because I wasn't done, not with the afternoon, not with the seat, not with the particular arrangement of light and shadow in the tree outside, keeping its commitment to shade, not with the feeling of being somewhere that had been exactly right all afternoon. The cup was empty, but I was not. Empty cup staying is not about the cup. Empty cup staying is about not being ready to admit that the best part of the afternoon has already happened. Empty cup staying on the table in front of me. Empty cup staying because moving it would mean something I'm not ready to mean yet. Empty cup staying, the condensation rings around it, the small map of where it's been all afternoon. Empty cup staying in me, staying with it a little longer than the cup requires, which is the only way to end a very good afternoon. Someone needed the table. Probably the cafe was getting busier. Probably I noted these things from a distance, the distance of someone who had decided to stay a little longer with an empty cup and a shady seat and an afternoon that I've been too good to leave without ceremony. Empty cup staying is not about the cup. Empty cup staying is about not being ready to admit that the best part of the afternoon has already happened. Empty cup staying on the table in front of me. Empty cup staying because moving it would mean something I'm not ready to mean yet. Empty cup staying, the condensation rings around it, the small map of where it's been all afternoon. Empty cup staying in me, staying with it a little longer than the cup requires, which is the only way to end a very good afternoon. Picked it up eventually, the last time to hear whatever ice was left rattle one more time, very quietly, just small pieces of what the ice used to be, doing what they could with what they had left, which was almost nothing but still something, which is how the best afternoons end, with almost nothing left but still something. The empty cup on the table is the afternoon in summary. It was here, it was cold, it was exactly what was needed, and now it's empty and still here, and I'm still here with it. Neither of us quite ready to call the afternoon officially over, which it isn't yet. Not quite, not while the tree is still doing its thing outside. Empty cup staying on the table in front of me. Empty cup staying because moving it would mean something I'm not ready to mean yet. Empty cup staying, the condensation rings around it, the small map of where it's been all afternoon. Empty cup staying in me, staying with it a little longer than the cup requires, last, which is the only way to end a very good afternoon. Not quite yet. Still something. Empty cup staying a little longer than required. Packed up eventually, the way you pack up when you've stayed exactly long enough, not too long, not too short, exactly the right amount of afternoon, in exactly the right seat, with exactly the right cup, twice good to the last, not just the last drop, but the last minute, the last condensation ring, the last rattle of the ice that was almost nothing by then, but rattled anyway, good to the last. Every tasting is not a ba-da-da-da-da-da, 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 ba-da-da-da-da-da. Good to the last is not about the coffee. Good to the last is about a day that delivered completely on what it promised when it started, which was cold and black and shady, and exactly this. Good to the last round. Good to the last sip of the second one. Good to the last rattle of the smallest piece of ice. Moment in the shady seat. Good to the last condensation ring on the table. Good to the last, which is what today was all the way through, from the first sip to the empty cup stain. Good to the last is the whole review of an afternoon done exactly right. Walked out into the heat, which was still there waiting patiently, the outside having kept its word about being hot while I'd been inside. Keep in mind about the iced Americano, we had an understanding the outside and I today, and it had held up its end by being exactly hot enough to make everything I'd done inside make complete sense. Da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da, da 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 da. Good to the last, it's not about the coffee. Good to the last is about a day that delivered completely on what it promised when it started, which was cold and black and shady, and exactly this. Good to the last drop. Good to the last sip of the second one. Good to the last rattle of the smallest piece of ice. Moment in the shady seat. Good to the last condensation ring on the table. Good to the last, which is what today was all the way through, from the first sip to the empty cup stain. Good to the last is the whole review of an afternoon done exactly right. Already thinking about tomorrow and whether tomorrow will be the kind of day that called for iced Americano, which most days in summer are, so probably tomorrow would be exactly like today, which is the best thing tomorrow can be. Exactly like today. Good to the last is the highest praise I know for an afternoon. It means nothing was wasted, nothing fell short, nothing warmed up before I was ready for it to. Good to the last is summer doing its job and me doing mine, which finding the shady seat, order twice and staying exactly long enough to call it good to the last switch. Today I can good to the last drop, good to the last sip of the second one, good to the last rattle of the smallest piece of ice, good to the last moment in the shady seat, good to the last condensation ring on the table, good to last is what today was all the way through, from the first sip to the empty cup staying. Good to the last is the whole review of an afternoon done exactly right. Good to the last, exactly right. Black and cold first sip of the day, the condensation ring stirring slowly, shady sea, ice rattling, bitter and perfect. Halfway through the second one, caffeine kicking in, cold to the last drop, empty cup staying. Good to the last, all of it, good to the last. Tomorrow exactly like today. Good to the last, all